Standard 10th, Subject Geography, Chapter number 1, Field Visit. All students expressing surprise. Oh my God! How can water be available continuously at this height since centuries? The teachers took them to a stall which served pitla bhakri. Students observed that there were many similar stalls. Tourists were being served different food items there. After spending little time at Sehgad Fort, students came down the foothills and boarded the bus. The bus started towards Pune city where they had an overnight halt. They had an overnight stay. In this city, they had evening snacks and tea and got ready to roam in the markets. They had a leisure time. Teacher, we will be visiting places in Pune like Shaniwar Wada and famous marketplaces like Tulsi Bagh and Mahatma Phule Mandai, that is the market. There are wholesale and retail markets here. You can do shopping here. Make sure you write down all your observations. After the city tour, they had dinner and returned to the place of their night halt. They went to sleep. Moving on to the second day, at 7 o'clock in the morning, after breakfast, they all proceeded to Alibag. Teacher, now we are on the Mumbai-Pune Expressway. Can you see the change in the relief again? We will stop at Rajmachi Point near Lonavala. Tushar, yes madam. Even though we are driving on a plain road, we can see hilly regions all around. The frequency of houses is becoming less. Now the houses are far away from each other. After Lonavala, they stopped at Rajmachi Point and the teacher gave information about various relief features. Teacher, these are the slopes of the Western Ghats. Western Ghats are the Ghats which are present on the western coast of India. We call these hilly areas Sahyadris too. From here, you can observe the difference in slopes, the gentle slope to the east and the steep slope to the west. Towards the west, you can see many cliffs and waterfalls about which you have learnt in class 9th. This region is also the source of river Ulhas, a major west-flowing river. The same Ulhas river, we also have it here in Neral. The students took photographs of these features. It started raining again and their journey resumed. They continued their journey ahead. Namdev, looking at the map. Madam, we are crossing the Ghat section and now are we going to Khopoli? Teacher, correct Namdev. This is known as the Bhor or Khandala Ghat in the Western Ghats. We will now enter the western coastal plains of India. Coastal plains means the plains across the coastal region. Observe the trees, soils and houses that you see. Shiv, madam, we can see dense forests comprising of thick vegetation in the Ghats. We can see trees with broad leaves. We had seen such trees in the Sehgad region too. Teacher, these are the teak trees. This region is a region of deciduous trees. Again, deciduous trees means they shed their leaves in the winter season or the autumn. There are many Vanrais and Devrais, that is woodlands and sacred groves. After crossing the Ghats, the dense forest became sparse. Now the forest was not so dense. The trees were farther away from each other. Paddy fields and huge industrial estates were now visible. Industrial estates are large places where all the industries are given permission to start in a particular region. Nazma, madam, I can feel a change in the weather. It is getting hotter and I have started perspiring. Teacher, you feel the change in the air. Because of increase in humidity in the air, that is the moisture content in the air, the water content in the air is more, so we start perspiring and skin becomes sticky. As we go near the sea, this will increase. Namdev, madam, it has started raining in this region. Also, the amount of rainfall seems to be more. It might be happening because of this. Teacher, Namdev, this is correct observation. Because of heavy rainfall and nearness to the sea, this happens. Also, because of the high rainfall, rice is the major crop here. Because rice needs lots of water. Soon we will reach the sea. Can you name the sea? All students together. The Arabian Sea. Teacher. Good. After reaching Alibag, before we go to our lodges, we will visit the Talati office. Lodges is the place where they are supposed to stay. And Talati office is the government office which has all the records about the local area. You can gather information on the basis of the questionnaire you have prepared in the school. The students had prepared a list of questions which they wanted to ask to the person or the officer in the Talati office. Urmi, we will be asking him questions about the types of crops, soil types, cultivation of fruits and other cash crops. We are asking him how land revenue is collected in his or her office. Land under irrigation, watershed programs and other occupations in the village. Cash crop is an agricultural crop which is grown to sell in the market to gain profit from it. The other type of crop is subsistence crop, which is produced only to be fed to the livestock, to the hen or the goat or the cows which are present on the same farm. So these are the cash crops which are grown to be sold in the market. Land revenue is the tax collected on the land that is present in the village from the landowners. Watershed program is the integrated watershed management program. It is done by the department, the government body, and it is done usually to restore ecological balance. In this, what they do is they try to create a balance in the nature for all the natural resources such as soil, water, etc. Sometimes what happens is if the water flow is too huge, then the soil gets eroded, the soil gets washed away with the water. So watershed programs are these special programs to conserve the balance in nature. The students then reached Alibag in the afternoon and then visited the Talati office. They collected information based on their questionnaires. Teacher, dear students, after lunch we will be going to the sea coast. How many of you will be seeing the sea for the first time? Almost all of them raised their hands. Abira, I am just trying to imagine what a breathtaking view it would be to see the sea. What will it look like? Or will there be just water? Teacher, true Abira, we will visit the beach now. We have already given clear instructions regarding precautions to be taken there. We will also visit a fort called Kolaba or Alibag Fort here. We will have to take into account the timings of the high and low tides as this is little away from the coast in the sea. We have studied the work of sea waves in class 9. We will also identify some of the landforms formed by sea waves. Can you name some of them? All children, almost together. Beach, sea caves, wave-cut platforms and sandbars. Teacher, good, you remember them well. They visited the beach and the fort. Some of them also enjoyed sitting on horse-driven chariots and some of them enjoyed horse rides. See, here the high tide and low tide is important because the place that they were supposed to go and see was a bit away from the sea coast. It was in the middle of the sea. So if there is high tide, it is difficult, it is dangerous to go to the other side. Usually such trips are worked around during low tide. Neha, Madam, this fort is different from the first two. Teacher, good Neha, can you tell the difference between them? Neha, yes madam, this fort was constructed in water while other two were on land. The biggest difference is this fort is in the middle of water. Teacher, good, this fort is built on a wave-cut platform, a platform which has been cut by waves of the sea. Because it is surrounded by seawater, it is called as a sea fort. Earlier, these forts were built for the security of the seas. There are many such forts on the west coast. Neha. Yes, I have heard names like Sindhudurg, Janjira earlier. Everyone remembers the Janjira fort which was shown in the serial of Sambhaji recently? Yes? Everyone watches TV then? Very good. Okay, alright. Everyone remembers the dialogues? I don't know whether I remember. What was it? Zanjira Swarajyat Alats Paije. Okay. Teacher, based on the information you have collected, can you tell what occupations are followed here? Rahul, Madam, fishing and agriculture, both the occupations are followed here. Teacher, correct Rahul. To which category do these occupations belong? Meena, Madam, these are primary occupations. Means the farmers or the fishermen, they are doing it themselves for themselves. Teacher, true. Initially, fishing was the main occupation. Later on, agriculture was also practiced in this region, but away from the shore. Coconut, betel nut, jackfruit, banana, and some spices are cultivated in the coastal plains. This is horticultural farming. Today, tourism has also become an important occupation here. Horticultural farming means farming about the crops that include vegetables, fruits and nuts which are used for self-consumption, for eating ourselves, and also flowers that are used for ornamental purposes like offering to gods or wearing on the hair, and also some shrubs and herbs and plants which are used for medicinal purposes. Afterwards, students spent some time playing on the sands of the beach and captured beautiful glimpses of the sunset in their cameras. After sunset, they came to their lodges. They discussed important points to compile their field visit report. They are supposed to prepare a field visit report. After returning to their lodge, they had dinner and rested for the night at Alibag. Next day in the morning, they had their breakfasts and left for their return journey. It's the end of a wonderful trip, and we need to thank these children for taking us through such different areas and informing us about their experiences. Anyone having any doubts, questions or issues in the whole chapter can get back to me on WhatsApp and ask straight away. We need to prepare for our exams. Until we meet next time, take care. Do revise. Bye-bye.